was born 40 miles from here and basically grew up here my entire life. So this is home. Republic was founded on mining. That's, if it wasn't for mining, Republic wouldn't exist.
A mine has a life, and they knew going in with Buckhorn that it had 5 to 10 years, maybe, and they're right there.
We've certainly tried to do everything we can. We started about 2.5 years ago, talking to employees, letting them know that the mine was shutting down. It's a challenging reality for folks to deal with.
When they shut down, it's going to be a significant impact.
There's still gold out there. We just, I guess in today's times, have a little harder time getting the exploration process done.
It's a difficult business to find economic ore bodies. It's more frustrating the time it takes to get authorizations to go look for it.
It's the only mill site or sanitization facility within a 300-mile radius. The reality is that this operation won't be here.
These people do care about what they do to the communities and the environment.
We're never going to have another Kinross come in. They're leaving and no one else is coming in to take over the reins there. We're going to miss them, but we're going to be very thankful because of all of the community action that they have helped us with in moving forward.
Kinross has been a really good neighbor to the school districts, both Curlew and Republic, to the hospital districts. That's not going to exist when they're gone. Those things are going to go away.
You got to have a tax base. You got to have some money coming in, some revenue. For us, the impact is going to be substantial, but the county impact is going to be really substantial because a lot of these guys are going to move on.
You know, most of the people I've talked to, they plan on moving, going into mining somewhere else maybe. You know, there's a few that are going to try to get jobs here, but most of the people I talk to are heading out.
People that have been here longer than I have, there's been periods where mines or mills in the area have shut down. As far as I know, this will be the first time in over 100 years where there's neither an operating mine or an operating mill, and I think it will feel and be a lot different this time than previous times when businesses have shut down.
Fundamentally, you want to maintain enough of a tax base so that the counties in these rural counties can still support the basic minimum amenities, health care, security, those types of things, law enforcement, so that you can still manage these small communities.
I don't know what's going to come in the next 3 or 4 years. Nobody knows. And so we're just going to deal with it as it goes and work our tails off to make sure that we provide water for the city and sewer and just keep the city facilities open as long as we can.
Is there some type of alternate industry that can be brought in, whether it's warehousing or agriculture, those types of things?
One of the main things that we have here that is really a bonus is that we have authentic rural charm. We don't have to remake our town to make it quaint and cute. It already is a fantastic place. We have all of our natural resources and the natural beauty of Ferry County, which is, you look around, it's one of the most beautiful places that I've seen, and I choose to live here.
We've got 2 or 3 groups in town, and one of them is a group that wants to get a lot of tourism in.
Is it sustainable under a strictly tourism kind of reclamation? Possibly, but again, that's a very different mindset than what we've come to know here as far as people that have kids in school and the support resources and the local law enforcement and those types of things. So we're trying very hard to help organize places in the community, get a group of people that will be here long after we are. What is that transition? What is the realistic things we can do?
We don't want Republic to change too much. We don't want it to fail. We do want to get some young blood here. We want to maybe open up some more restaurants, couple different new businesses along Main Street, expand the services that we have here. Let's have a golf course. Wouldn't that be fun?
Can they keep the hospital going? Can they keep the schools going? Can they keep these small businesses going where they only spend so much because they only have so much money on a retirement?
But it's a tough sell to get big companies to move here because of lack of infrastructure, lack of talent. For whatever, manufacturing or anything like that. And it's because we're in a very odd place. As much as it's a beautiful place, it's located in such a out of the way location.
They're looking at some things like a grasshopper festival and a bass tournament, some things that could really bring people into the communities. That's not necessarily going to replace industry, but it can certainly help the communities and the economy.
But I think it's forced everybody to look at the alternatives, whether that be tourism or entrepreneurship.
If I could get 10 small businesses that hired 10 to 12 people, the impact of one of them closing wouldn't be significant compared to what we have now.
It's not just about a company being done and closing its doors and leaving. We, as in community, Kinross, everybody are doing the best we can to try to figure out what to do in the future to have the least negative impact as possible on the economy.
For us in Kinross, where corporate responsibility is one of our core values, from the beginning we thought we have to do this right. It's part of the way we do our business.
And they truly have gone just the extra mile. Truly as a citizen, I just feel very honored to have known and worked with them somewhat and know them personally.
I mean, I've lived here for longer than Buckhorn's been here. It's hard for the community in general. Despite being transparent through the whole process and talking often about the employment numbers and payroll and spending, it still comes as a bit of a shock to people when you talk about closure. You have employees and people in the community who have been here for 20 or 30 years saying, it's always been a short mine life and we're still here. So there's a bit of denial in the community.
They come in and they have conferences and our motels are filled and our restaurants are filled, and so that's really, I think that we've gotten so used to having them here, and it has given us this prosperity, this boost in our community, and now we're concerned about what's going to happen when they go away, because it is going to leave a hole, and a lot of our community is not aware of that.
I think the approach we've taken with our employees has been successful. As the mine winds down, positions go away. We've been able to accommodate desires of people to either retire or to move on and stay viable here in the last year of our operation. So we've done what we've said we would do by our employees and the community.
And the overriding objective is to make sure we can transition the process so that as far as possible the impacts of closure in the community are reduced as much as possible, mitigated as much as possible, and above all that the community feels a sense of ownership in their future going forward, and obviously we'll do what we can to support that transition process.
My gut feel is that maybe half of our workforce will remain right here in Ferry County and we'll be doing something different, and it may not be as lucrative as mining, but a lot of folks want to stay here and are willing to stay here at the expense of a big paycheck.
I'm going to be here for as long as I can.
You see a lot of businesses close up. It just gets very hard. I see people struggling to buy groceries, gas. You don't go to the doctor. You don't get your pharmaceutical prescriptions filled. It just affects us in a lot of different ways, and I don't think people really understand.
So when we come out of this process, what we'd like is at the end of the process that people think they were a good company to have in our community. That's a company we'd like to have come back to our community and do another mining operation. If we had that kind of reaction, that for me would tell me that we did our job right.
If it's going to be pulled out of the ground, this is the mine I'd like to see do it, because they do it right. They take care of things.
because we've had good stewardship here, environmental stewardship here. And again, Kinross has been instrumental in making sure that our Kettle River stays pristine and our hillsides still look beautiful and natural, and that's what we have to sell.
The thing I like about them is they care about the community.
But what they do is first class. There's no question about it.
People are sad that they're going. We're going to miss Kinross.
The people are very strong and they're used to this, and they'll weather it through it.
We may be down, but we're not out.
How are we going to get ahead, and how are we going to make our futures better?
The gold's here, but can they go get it?
We want Kinross to stay. That's the bottom line of the whole thing.
Without Kinross being here, we're going to have to just work a little bit harder.